What's up, everybody? This is KP from Extinction Event, and I wanted to bring you guys something pretty special today. So, all of us here, or at least the instrumentalists in the band, are big tone nerds and big gear nerds of what we like, and we know a lot of our fans are too. And our sound, especially on bass, is very unique. It's, a very heavily distorted, something like you'd expect on a guitar, but on a bass. And a lot of people ask how we get those kinds of tones. We've discussed some of our live things that we've used and what we used on the recording for the EP. And one of the big things that we're going to be using that's new, or at least new to us, is the Positive Grid products, specifically Bias FX and Bias Amp. They're both really great simulation software. They're available on desktop and mobile. I'm using the desktop versions. I might eventually get the mobile version as well. The amp is really good for delving into the nuts and bolts of amp building. You pick your amp and it's based on your category, and then when you build the bass one that you want, you EQ it just like you would there, but then you can dive further. You can edit things like the preamp, the power amp, the tubes in both sections, EQs and post and pre. You can choose a cab, you can choose what type of transformer you want to use. There's really a lot of tweaking you can do with it, and I like it pretty simple, but there's a lot you can do with it. And then it works very well in tandem with Bias FX, which I highly recommend you getting both programs because they work very well together. You'll build your amp in AMP, and then you move it over to FX, where you can go even further as to adding pedals, things like rack-mounted EQs. You can use a gate, distortion pedals, mods. You can even create a dual chain, so that way you can have a blend of two different amps, or the same amp with two different cabs and two different mic combinations. So there's really a lot you can do with it. So I'm not going to spend too much time on everything that it can do, but I'll at least go over briefly what I use for the tone for when I'm practicing, playing along, and probably what I'll eventually use live. And you can expect some releases coming soon, or at least in the somewhat future, to be with some Positive Grid products. So I hope you enjoy this stuff. So really briefly, I'll go over AMP and then go into FX with this. So I've already put together the whole thing. I went with the insane 5153 sound, and then customized the look to have like the ox blood look, with a Fender blackface front, and got the metal grill with KP5153. Cut out a little bit of mid, add some treble, keep the bass about level. Preamp I didn't do too much. All I did was turn up the bias adjust to be a little more hot. Tone stack, I went with the 5153 American and just turned down the middle a little bit. Power amp was the big change. It defaults to 6L6s, but I changed it to EL34, and it's really cool. You can just click the tubes to change it, or you can click the little adjuster. And then for the transformer, I changed it to fat style. And the cab that I used is the orange 4x12 with V30s, and I used a C414 microphone and put it off to the side a little bit to give it a little bit of a dark tone. So once you're done with that, you can save it and then export it over to Bias. But just before I put it into FX, it sounds a little bit like this. So pretty cool, pretty close to what I wanted. So we'll turn that off, and then we'll move over to FX, turn off amp. So once you've imported it in, all you have to do is click on your amp, and then double click it, pick your head selection, go to Bias Amp, and then scroll down for the name you want. So in this case it was KP5134, and then once you're done with that, you can create your effects chain. So for me, it's really simple. It's a dual amp blend. I started with a tube screamer in the front with the classic no drive, lots of level, and then the tone at like 1 o'clock. Split is even. The tone I just showed you was in this cab, and then I wanted a little bit more to it, so I added a duplicate of the same amp, but I did the Ingle 412 with the same mic and the same positioning. Mixer, again, both level, brought up the level a little bit because I've noticed whenever you create a dual chain, it brings down the overall level, so I brought it up. And then the big thing is I always have an EQ at the end. So what I did is I cut out 16K and 30K all the way, and a little bit at at 30 hertz, not 30K. A little bit at 60 and a little bit of 8, so you get that kind of slightly midier sound. So you get more of a So it wasn't too far off from what I created in AMP, but basically what I did is I cut out the very high and the very low, so it's a more focused and punchier sound, and then did a dual blend to just give it more oomph. Like I said, there's a lot more to it. I just like a more simpler approach, especially for everything we do with the Extinction level event. And I'm sure the more I use it, the more I'll craft my tone. But this is the tone I have that I've been working with for a while, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I put it up on the ToneCloud as soon as this video has been uploaded. So you should be able to find it. It's called KP Clank, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to quickly demonstrate what it sounds like in the context of Extinction level event. And as a bonus, I've noticed that a lot of the tones that I make for bass tend to sound really great for guitar, so I'll demonstrate really briefly what it sounds like on guitar as well. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Promised, quick little bonus for you guys. This is the exact same tone that I just built for you guys, but it's on my 6-string guitar, which is tuned down to drop B. So I hope you enjoy what you hear.